श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। उकारस्वन्धकारो वै उकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. That's the point. This kind of, even though these are arguments and intellectual understanding, ultimately it leads to remove that intellectual quest. So we use mind and intellect to finally see that this mind and intellect take rest and they become crystal and just leave Atma alone. And that state, whether that state is possible or not, it's possible in different ways, meditation, bhakti. But here, when you enquire also, it helps. All these attempts and ways help each other. And clearly we are seeing through Vakya Vritti and Vakya Vichara, this is also like an intensive meditation on what we are. And this will lead to a state where we will cease to think. That's the idea, and Acharya is building it in that way. So earlier we saw that I am the dearest to me, I love you for my sake. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. It's a very interesting, most interesting statement. Maybe we can meditate morning, evening, afternoon, every time. And only thing is that Atma, when it becomes Jnani, for the statement of Jnani, Atma is everything for him. Therefore, he Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati, for Jnani, for a Mukta Purusha. It is everything that he sees, he will see himself and nothing else. Sarvani Bhutani, he will see himself. The Atmanastu, he will see everything. Therefore, for him, there is nothing other than Atma. Therefore, Atmanastha Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavati, for a Jnani, for a Mukta Purusha, is not the same meaning for a Jnani. Because here that Atma, Atmanastu, whether you take Atma as what is the most important point there. Therefore, it helps every one of us if we have gone to that level of negating all other things and remain in Atma. Or even if anything that appears to me solid and I see only in Atma, Sam Sarveshu Bhuteshu Tishtantam Parameshwaram, that Parameshwara I see is also okay. If I am able to reach that level, then Atma, it excludes all other four factors. We have seen 5 factors as Chit, Chidabhasa and this Sariratrayam. Sariratrayam and Chidabhasa if you are able to remove. But Chidabhasa and Chit removal is practically impossible. You know why? Why you can't remove Chidabhasa? Can you guess? You will die. If Chidabhasa goes, it is death. Without Chidabhasa, you are not, even in Sushupti Avastha, Chidabhasa and your Sukshma Shariram is in an unmanifest form. Because if Chidabhasa is that Chit that is being reflected in you, that makes Chidabhasa. Therefore, Chidabhasa will be there as long as until Videha Mukti, that will be there. Only Chidabhasa remains. But a Jnani doesn't mind because there is no mind, there is no Ahankara. It's only Chidabhasa. Therefore, it's okay. It doesn't harm the Jnani. A Chit and Chidabhasa. And Chidabhasa also goes during Videha Mukti, but for a Jnani, it doesn't matter. Whether he has the body, whether he has the Chidabhasa, whether everything is Chit. He is in that Anubhuti. Therefore, this is a very, very subtle point. So ultimately, the topmost point we have seen in our evening workshop discussions I hope you're all awake this odd time before, because it's only after tea and before lunch, I think it's okay. So we are discussing a subtle matter. So ego is the last thing that is to be destroyed. After ego also Chidabhasa remains. So we are going one step further there. Because Chidabhasa, you don't do anything, it automatically reflects in the body because you have taken a shariram. You have got a sukshma shariram and you are born until prarabdha continues, that also will be reflecting. As long as you are walking, it will be reflecting. Otherwise, you will become like a book or a block of stone. There is a difference between this. But if you take the sukshma shariram of this, if you are able to take it in its entirety, like earth, like sun, then it may also have its own sukshma shariram. But human eye and human mind is not able to capture it. Therefore, you've got Manushya Gandharva, Deva Gandharva. It goes like that. We have not seen all those things. We need to believe only Shastram, scriptures. Because human mind or science can neither prove it nor disprove it. When we are discussing about science and religion, one more important point is science not only cannot prove God, it cannot disprove God also, because it's totally different area. You got a microscope, you see everything, you can't see yourself. Because you are seeing through your eye and you can see something else, you can't see yourself. Here, the whole Shastram talks about yourself, therefore, it's beyond the scope of any instrument. So, instruments are also useful as long as you get inside. Afterwards, it is the individual who got up inside this shariram has to look into it. And the experience of every individual, I think, must be different and varied, whatever it is. Once you have taken a shariram and whatever you need to do, you do it in your own way. It may be millions of ways, millions of people doing that will have millions of ways. Ultimately, it is only in Atma. Until you reach that is the thing. Therefore, because I am the dearest to myself, what is that I want to live forever is the 25th sloka. It's a continuation of the 24th sloka. I am the dearest and I don't want to die. Is naturally, somebody may say that I don't want to die. But every one of us, including a jnani, he lives. He lives after his shariram. Only the difference is the ajnani takes another body. A jnani doesn't take another body because he continues to live existence. It is not jnani wants to die. He wants to go back to his original Surapa, the higher nature of himself. Therefore, he lives forever. That means existence. See, any jivarasi, I want to live forever with awareness that I live. That's all about whole life. There is nothing beyond it. Not a single word you can add to this statement. I want to live. And I want to live forever. And I want to live with awareness that I live. That is what is Satchit Ananda. I am not telling something different. I am telling Satchit Ananda in a different way, putting in a grammatical way. I am not Panini, but I use grammar. So, this grammar, if you use the same Satchit Ananda 3 words, become a sentence. And what does it say? That I want to live forever, I want to live with the awareness that I want to live, and I want to live happily. That's all about it. Therefore, why do I want to live forever? Because that happiness, I am that happiness, I don't want to lose that. But I have been searching outside. Only thing is the direction in which I am searching is now changed. And the whole rest of the world, those who are not mumukshus, jinyajus, they try to find that happiness outside. I am trying to see it in a right direction. When I have come to the right direction and I have known that happiness is myself and my travel, the direction is different, I have now known that therefore I want to live forever. Everyone wants to live forever, but unfortunately, people generally do not know how to live forever. But the quest to live forever can never go. Can never go. I want to live forever is inbuilt. It is because it is ultimately Atma, it lives ever. Therefore, I want to live forever is not your personal desire. That's what you are. That's what you are. And you know that you live is also you are. And you live forever is also you are. All these three things are therefore called the positive features of yourself. And therefore I want to live forever. Therefore I love myself the most and I want to live forever cannot be separated. One of these is the condition, the other condition will automatically follow. I want to live forever, it has to follow I love me the most. If you say I love me the most, you want to live. Because you know yourself and you love yourself. And that happiness is coming from somewhere, yourself. And I want to be in that delight all the time. It can't be avoided. That's why when Atma Swarupa, Atma Anubhuti, all these great Mahatmas have clearly stated that when you have reached that state, there is nothing else to see. There is nothing else to observe. What a great statement. This is also not available in any theology. Every other religion talks about God. And God as Janmadasya Taha. It's only Karanam and Karyam Jagat is always there. The greatest thing that we can find in Vedanta is this, that you want to live forever and you are that happiness. There is nothing else needed for you. Is another great glory of Vedas. You can't find anywhere else. Probably all religions might have started from there and finally settled down to a God outside so that I am very comfortable. Would you call myself God and get into trouble? Then I have to describe so many things and I need Adi Shankara to come. Luckily, we have Adi Shankara, we have Vakya, Vritti. So the ego knows all this, but it has to perish to be that. That's the problem. The ego also knows all this. Ego is acting, but the ego, when it goes, knowing this, ego has to just go. Give way, that's all. Maya also gets to open the door. The door is opened, afterwards what happens? Only the fellow knows. Nobody else can describe it. Therefore, he put it as superlative degree, paraprema, being dearest, mana, abhuvam, never cease to exist. It's within quote, he says. Desire for immortality is universal. Any jiva rasi, desire for immortality is universal. If somebody says, I don't want to die, it's all bluff. You want to live. You don't know how to say that, that's all. You want to die for what? You ask a question, that fellow will put a condition. If this is the condition, I will live. I will live forever. I live forever, I want immortality. You need not say that is what you are. Whether you say it or not. Even animals want to survive. There is no animal, there is no jiva rasi which doesn't want to exist and which doesn't want happiness. There is no such jiva rasi. We have seen in earlier classes that even attempt to suicide is not a disproof for living forever. He also wants to live, he or she, whoever does it, because their condition is not fulfilled. That condition is that is modaha, priyaha. That an object they promote, they go into an object, but ultimately they are searching for that happiness which is found to be in the body. They just destroy the body, that's all. But in order to reach oneself, there also I want to exist. Only for existence they destroy the body. With the body they don't want to exist. That's all. Ultimately they also want immortality. It's because of Ajnanam that happens. So, I love you, and finally we say, I allow you to go. Any person, I love you. Finally we have to say, I allow you to go. If you don't say it, it's a trouble. Any person, I love you, I must be ready in the background of mind, I also allow you to go. That's the only thing. So, source of the inference here is, the auxiliary point is, source of sorrow is not loved by anyone. Source of sorrow. Somebody may say, I want to be unhappy. Actually, it happened once to me. When I was taking a class in Japan, one fellow, there are some people who want to argue. He said, I like unhappiness, he said. We all live for happiness. No, I live unhappiness. I said, that is your happiness. Whatever happiness, you don't even call it unhappiness, that's all. Because people try to argue. And And he raised several questions. Then I told him, you are more intelligent than any of us. Therefore, you, you please come and teach. And then he kept quiet. So it's for argument's sake you can say all these things. So therefore conditional love is not real love. So Jnani's life includes the universe. Ajnani's Atma, his self, excludes the universe. It's a small self and the big self. That's another important point. This one point is very, very interesting. Why it includes the universe? There is no other way. There is no other way. The universe you should swallow. First Ishvara should swallow you, and then you should swallow the universe. Otherwise, you will not reach there. Because once you have gone to, because it is all Maya Sakitam. You can't remove Maya and see something because you don't exist as a separate entity. Sadeva idamagrajit, Sadeva Saumya idamagrajit. That Sadeva Saumya idamagra, Sadeva Saumya, that Sat would be what? Everything included in that. If you are Atma, if you want to really have that Anubhuti, how can there be a second thing? Even Maya cannot be there. The Maya we think in a solid state. That's the problem of a human mind. Even if you take it to Akasha level, you can't find our Maya. Maya, you can't go and embrace Maya in the form of Akasha. You can't do that. Even in Akasha level, you can't do that. There is nothing solid available. And Maya also cannot come and laugh at you. Hey, like a Mohini, come and take you. Maya will not do anything. As a human being, what that Akasha can do with you. And you are in that Akasha. And you go beyond that, Akasha is in you. What else can be there for you to see? What else can be there for you to experience? That's why in Vedantic language we say whatever you experience, that is not Brahman. Therefore, we should not take it as a very dogmatic argument. You just go deep into that and sit in meditation. There cannot be a second thing. If there is no second thing, where is the world? You think of Akasha. Akasha itself is within you. What else you will see? Therefore, we should get out of this human thinking, human mind. That's what here Acharya is trying to say. If you love the most, you also will exist all the time. These two things seem to be a not connected thing. They are connected. There is a joke. Somebody said, if I remove two of your ears, can you see? The fellow said, that fellow X can see. Yeah, he can see. Why not? You are just removing the ears. No. How will he wear his spectacles? Where it will sit. Some of you understood. So that means that fellow cannot see anything without the spectacles. So it takes some time to connect. Isn't it? There is a connectivity. When I say externally that without spectacles, when I remove the ears, he can't see. We don't understand. Then the spectacles, where it will sit. Then we understand, oh, there is a connection. Because he has to wear the spectacle, and the spectacle, without spectacle he can't see, all these things come. Therefore, that kind of connection is here. It takes some time for us to, because it's great. Acharya is telling it. I love me the most and I want to exist. What is the connection? You love you the most, you want to exist all the time because you love you. Love yourself. Dearest. You can't just leave it. That's the idea here given in the 25th sloka. We'll move on to the 26th. Yes sakshi lakshano bodha tvam padarthasya uchyate sachitvam api bodhrutvam avikaritayatmanah. Here, Lakshartham is trying to conclude the Tvam-pada. We have taken so much time for Tvam-pada, which is justifiable, because Shankaracharya has taken so much effort in trying to put that Tvam-pada, because Tvam-pada, afterwards we will go to Tat-pada. Without understanding Tvam-pada in its proper level, it will not be possible for us to know the Tatpada and then connect these two things. Therefore, it is worth the effort that we have taken. So now slowly is trying to conclude. The consciousness and witness. Ultimately, he is summing up. He is trying to slowly summing up, and 27 sloka is going to complete this. So here, the Sompada Lakshyartha, the ultimate end, what is he trying to say? This Bodha, original consciousness. We call the Bodha consciousness without Chidabhasa as original consciousness, the reflected consciousness as reflected consciousness, Chidabhasa as RC, reflected consciousness. So a man always with these two only. Without this, if the Chidabhasa is not there, you are not as a human being alive. It becomes dead body. That's the difference. Then it's the only Atma, but Atma is there in the dead body also. Beyond, you remember all the 5 conditions, Atma remains after the body. And Atma is not available for your research because it needs a medium. Atma is there in dead body also, but it's not available for you to understand. Because only through a medium it can exhibit itself. Therefore, they are intrinsically closer. Therefore, you can't scold Maya. Maya is very, very helpful. You have to worship Maya. Because Maya is there, you are moving. Otherwise, Achalam, you will not move. Nothing. Ashabdam, asparsham, arupam, abhyayam. Nothing will be there. So what is that? How will you find that Atma? It's a Leela of God. God himself is created, but as Antaryami, he himself is controlling. He is not controlling from outside. He is controlling, he is inside also. Controlling from inside. Antaryami. Everywhere he is there, inside also there. That is what is controlling. That is what is happening. So you know that. That's what he says. And witness. So witness consciousness means if you are pure witness, there will be nothing to witness. The witness here, the meaning is you don't do anything. There is no activity for you. Just in your presence, everything will get burnt. Everything will be known. Everything will be activated, but you don't do anything. Almost you want to be Atma, you try to pretend to be like that, it will help. It's mentally rehearsal. I don't do anything. Everything happens in my presence. I just have to only imagine that whatever is going, coming, whatever is rising, jumping, everything, I see only myself there. This can be rehearsed. That's why Ramana Maharshi it was not necessary for him to close his eyes. He could open his eyes and transcend the world. It's possible. The only thing is the tapas, not just theoretical understanding. It's quite possible because you are in that state, pure witness, consciousness, only whether you call it knowledge, experience, whatever the name you give it, only the individual can do it. Nobody else can do it for the individual. However, blah, 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 the teacher teaches. The Shastra says, whatever does, how is that? Is only the individual's job. But it is sure. It is there. That is what is witness. It is not an action, no changes. That's what Acharya is going to say. This is a repetition, we have already seen that, but Acharya is trying to take us to that level. 26 words is a ladder between 25th and 27th and all the previous Tvampada explanation. So what does he say? The important catchword here is avikaritaya, one free from all changes, bodha sakshi lakshanaha. This is the message. Bodha, consciousness, as sakshi lakshana. The same consciousness is sakshi lakshana, which is of the nature of witness. The witness we normally misunderstand. Witness means it is something like the court witness. You go and stand there and look at something and say, prove that. For a witness, there will be nothing to witness. This we should underline that. Because if you are pure witness, there is nothing else for you to witness. When you witness something also, you should witness this as if there is nothing. Myself is there. then there is no problem. It takes time. Individual to individual, it will take time. If you are serious about it. We'll move to the next one, 27. Dehendriya mana prana aham kritibhyo vilakshanaha Projita shesha shanbhava vikarastvam pada vidaha. This is the concluding part of Tvam-pada. So finally Acharya is telling free from the 6 changes. What are the 6 changes? Tattva-bodha, do you remember? What is that? Asti, jayate, vartate, viparinamate, apakshiyati, vinashyati. So asti means in the womb we were there. And then jayate, born, birth. And then grow. And then take different forms and shapes. You become a youth, you become an adult kind of thing. And then slowly, jayate, mriyate. Then you decline, you decay, and then disappear. So these are all the 6 changes the consciousness doesn't undergo, free from the 6 changes. And that is also Dehendriya Mahapranam, Manapranaha, Ahamkrityabha. Ahamkriti here, you can take it as ego. Sometimes it is taken as Vijnanamaya Kosha also, Vijnanam also. So Shadbhava Vikaraha, these 6 changes are not, it is free from 6 changes. Tvam-pada Abhidaha, Vilakshanaha. It's quite distinct from Dehendriya Manaprana. This already it has come. Therefore, in this particular conclusion statement, we should understand it as absolutely free from the 6 changes. What is free from the 6 changes? That is Sakshi. That's what he says in the previous. He is very beautifully making this thread. One sloka to one sloka is very nicely is building that. That's why you need somebody to guide us. Sakshi cannot be separately shown by Shastra or Guru. Therefore, he has built that because whatever you experience, whatever you see, everything is undergoing these 6 changes. You are Sakshi. And that Sakshi is not having these 6 changes. And in our language, it doesn't have these 5. What are the 5? The 3 Sharirams and Chitabhasa. 4 it doesn't have. It remains as the one Chit. The physical separation is not possible. That's why Acharya has taken so much effort in trying about telling one pada, Tvam-pada, because it is difficult to separate the world and Atma. It is difficult to separate the object, the Maya and Atma. It is so close, intimately it is one together. The whole purpose is to see the Atma intellectually or by bhakti or by some means. You want to see that that's what it is. All other things are coming and going. It's all very simple. Ultimately, if you look at it, if you come to the level of creation, you have all this dvandva, positive, negative, all these things will be there. When everything is swallowed and nullified, it is silent, it doesn't have any movement, it's absolutely silent. But the moment it manifests, it multiplies, it has both. So when you get into Vihara, we need to accept it in its stride. You can argue Maya is not there, it is like dream. The dream is true. But if you take, there is a big mistake the Vedantis commit. As an individual, it's a different story. The same thing would you put that equation, you can't blindly put that equation. That 5 plus 3 is equal to the 9 minus 1, that 8 is available. There, Ishvara is that we are going to see. Sarvanjaha, Sarvashaktivan, all those things in the samasti level, Maya is under control. Here I am under the control of Maya. Once I leave this individuality, then at that level, at Paramarthika Satyam level, I'm okay. And there is only one Satyam. There is no equation at all. But that Paramarthika level is not available. You can't just separate from Vyavakarika. Therefore, the only thing the individual can do is shed your ego. Therefore, the language is one and the same. Whether you are telling Advaitam, any philosophy you talk, that's philosophy. But ultimately, you look at it practically what you do. You negate, you renounce. You renounce your own identity. Then what happens is, what remains is that. Therefore, when you come into Vakara, even if you say as a dreamer, as an individual, the Pranjat, Aijasa, this is equal to, you say Virat, and you say Hiranyagarbha. And you remember what is the word for Samasti Prajna? You remember? For Virat, for Vishwa, it is Virat. For Taijasa, it is Hiranyagarbha. For Prajna, for the Sushupti person who is sleeping, what is the Samasti word? Antaryami. Because it's mostly told as Ishvara. And Prajnanananda Swami and certain acharyas have clearly said that you have to take it as Antaryami. Because that's what here Acharya is going to say. I have created the world and the jivas, and I have entered into the jiva. And all jivas, the God, as though entering into the God, that is what is Antaryami. But all these Hiranyagarbha, Antaryami and Virat, all put together is equal to Ishvara. This we should remember, for clarity purpose. That's why Paramatma Swamiji is outstanding. His clarity is uncomparable, at least I feel. Yes, this kind of statements is very nice, we need to take from such Mahatmas. So Chidabhasa, you see, Chidabhasa will continue throughout your life. Why? I told just 10 minutes before. Why it will continue throughout your life? Why Chidabhasa will continue throughout your life? You will die. If it is you will die. So that will continue. So Chidabhasa will be there in all three avasthas. Even in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, it is there. It is in unmanifest form. It is unmanifest because even a Mahatma, he comes back. Afterwards, Videyamuti, he doesn't come back. It's okay. But the Chidabhasa continues to operate. It doesn't vanish. Therefore, here there are two statements which need individuals' understanding. Because it can be interpreted in any way. Separation of Chidabhasa and Chit has to be done. Some people say intellectually. It cannot be actually done. But here, what you have to understand, whether you do it intellectually, whether you do meditation, whatever you do, what we understand is, it has to be done by the individual separately and experienced. It cannot be explained. Chit and Chidabhasa, how it is separated, all these things, actually you have to, as Ramakrishna says, you have to go into the sea and see. That's the thing. You can call it, you do it intellectually, some people forget it, you do it meditation, all those things. But what we understand is Chit and Chidabhasa, as long as you are alive, they are together. And how you go to that Chit is the individual's job. Because if you make everything absolutely non-functional, mind, intellect, everything, what remains would be that state. That is individual's thing. You analyze intellectually also, then you will have to lose your intellect. You can't remain in intellect and experience that. That point you should understand. Different arguments are there in that. I don't want to enter into that. I leave it to the individual. Because every one of us sitting here will have our own way. That's what I believe. I absolutely accept Sri Ramakrishna in this. I have no doubt, iota of doubt in that. And every individual will have his own personal experience, and that's the only way to do it. I can't just copy somebody. It has to happen to the individual. You cannot experience pure Chit. You can only experience the Chit localized in a person. These two statements I have taken from certain arguments, but I myself have an analysis on this. That's why I am not putting it as a firm statement. The statement is given by somebody, but the statement has to be taken in its own stride. Every individual has to think of that. Means you cannot experience pure Chit. Means some people say I experience, some people say I don't experience. The problem is with the word experience. What do you call as experience? So it's in the normal term of a human being a human being, you can't experience. You have to take it like that. When you have gone into that, you are not anymore a human being. You have gone somewhere else. You become Atma. Then you are not a human being. You are not restricted as a human being. That is, you can't remain a human being and also be Atma. Isn't it? It is very simple logic. Very, very simple logic. You can't remain a Jiva and then you are also Atma. So it is Jivatma and Paramatma. Generally say we remove the Parama and Jiva, you become Atma. It's not that simple. If it is that simple, everybody will become Atma. Very, very simple. I can call all school, elementary school students, hey, come here. You got Jiva, Atma and Paramatma. Nowadays, even 4 years old child understands. And that child understands better than me any equation. Very simple. Remove this. What remains is Atma? Namaste. You can go to Atma. It's not that simple. If you remove just Jiva, you are not Paramatma. You the Parama and Jiva. Because you Jiva you remove, then Parama, why do you remove here? This is my personal understanding. Why do you all this worry about remove Parama? You remove Jiva, yeah, that's enough. Isn't it? It looks nice. You remove that Jivatvam and the Paramatvam will come out. Why do you go and remove it? Because that concept you remove. Because you think that my limitedness will go if I know that I am Atma and that bliss is coming from me, all those things, then it's not, you need not take so much effort to go and remove that Maya, remove that Parama, all those things. I think it's a natural thing that happens. I'm not saying this, all great Mahatmas who have experienced, they say that it naturally happens. You don't go and do anything middle with something because it's not something other than you. There is nothing to middle with. There's only one thing to middle with is yourself. The Atma you can't middle with. That's what you are. Therefore you cannot. So these two statements I think every individual has to understand according to the individual's capacity and what the individual is, the level in which the individual is. I don't think this can be just put in the brain of an individual. It's practically not possible. Every individual will have his own opinion. There will be some difference. And somehow it works, it's okay. So I leave it at that stage. It's exactly like this. I show this watch. I remove this watch. When I showed this watch, you saw what? Watch. When I remove this watch, you don't see the watch. But both the times you have seen light. The light remains here. Without the watch, you are not able to see the light. It is there. It is always there. The light is reflected on this watch. Therefore, I am able to see this watch. When I take away this watch in this place, there is light. I am not able to see. It is as sukshmam, as subtle as that. It is there. And even this space itself is like that, light itself is like that, then how about Atma? It is further subtle. And another thing is, that is myself. Then you can imagine, your mind will collapse. Therefore, anyway, you can't go there with your mind. That's all. That's the ultimate point. The mind helps and it puts you there and it says goodbye, tata, and then it's for you to do that. We will move to the next one. So in this particular sloka, this 6, Projita Asesha Shadbhava Vikaraha. That's the most important. Deha Indriya Mana Prana Hankritibhyaha. The Vilakshanaha, that you have already seen. The 6 changes will not be there for Atma. You are changeless is the point. We see 28. Tvamartamevam nischitya tadartam chintayet punaha adadvyavritti rupena sachat vidimukhena cha. Sure, this is a very important sloka. We need to analyze this. That's why we've taken some time. Here he starts Tat Artham. Tat Padartham is beginning here. Tvam Padartham is over with the 6 changes, and we are now entering into the Tat Padartha explanation. Here he is going to talk about 2 methods, Vyavritti and Vidimukha. So one is negative, the other is positive. There are 2 methods we are going to see Tat Padartham. One is the negative method, the other is the positive method. See, we have taken so much time because if somebody comes and tells that I have been attending Upanishad classes, Vedanta class, I have understood everything, all the points are very, very clear, but only I have not understood Mahavakyam. Then it doesn't make any sense. So ultimately, all the effort that we have taken in the Jnana Marga, in Vedanta, is to know the Mahavakyam clearly, because that's where the knowledge is revealed absolutely and in its own way. So that becomes all the way very important. That's why we have taken so much time. Now we are getting closer to that when we are coming to the Tatpadam. Here in Tatpada Vichara, Tumpada Vichara, Acharya was talking straight about the Lakshyartham. You understand Lakshyartham? I keep on saying Lakshyartham is the implied meaning, the indirect meaning, the ultimate meaning. That meaning he has directly gone. He did not even talk a word about Vachyartham. Because Vachyartham is not everybody knows. I am limited, I have 2 hands, I have thirsty, all these things everybody knows. And for Acharya, it is not necessary to come and tell us all these things. That's why intelligently he has left that portion and has straight away gone to Lakshyartham. But in Tat Padartham, the Acharya is going to talk about both Vachyartham and Lakshyartham, because you know why? You know why? Why Tvam Padam is straight away talking about Lakshyartham. For Tatpadam, he is going to talk about both Vachyartham and Lakshyartham. Can you guess? Because both we don't know. How do you know God? We don't know. Therefore, these 2 things have to be explained by scripture. Sarvanjaha, Sarvashaktiman. Being limited, how do you know the unlimited? Even if it is Saguna Brahman, you don't know. Therefore, both the Saguna Brahman and Anugrah Brahman have to be explained by the scriptures, and that's what Acharya is. How intelligent, that's why these 2 extra words. Because he is going so nicely. And every method, the instrument is used so brilliant. You can see the brilliance of a Mahatma, a great avatara. And how he is explaining this in one single Vakya Vritti, so much is packed. If you have undergone this. If you have undergone this thoroughly, afterwards I think it's only individual's effort. There is nothing else to know by information and knowledge. So, Sagana, Paramatma, I would prefer the word Ishvara. Because when you say Sagana Brahman, Ishvara or Sagana Brahman is better. So Paramatma, Jivatma, Atma. So, Paramatma we always understand as Atma. So Ishvara, whatever it is direct meaning. Nirguna Atma, that is Paramatma. Nirguna Brahman. We can say Saguna Brahman as direct meaning. Nirguna Brahman is the implied meaning of Tatpada. That's the next stage. This is where I was asking this question. Vishwa is Virat, Pranja is Hiranyagarbha, Taijasa is Hiranyagarbha, Pranja is Antaryami. All these 3 put together, Ishvara, that is Saguna Brahman. There you got, when we are looking at the Tvam Padam, these are all not there in the this thing. You need to have supply these ideas here to understand it properly. When we were talking about the individual Vyakti, we were talking about the 5 factors. Do you remember? Repeatedly, the Sariratrayam, and Chidabhasam and Chit. The same thing is applicable to the Saguna Brahman also. That is, instead of calling Sariratrayam, what is the word you use? Do you remember Tattva-bodha? Recently you studied Prapanchatrayam. You don't say Sariratrayam, you say Prapanchatrayam. Because it's coming in the cosmic level. And then you know this subtle causal body, you got this Prapanchatrayam, that is Virat, Hiranyagarbha, Antaryami. And you got this reflected consciousness. Earlier it is Chidabhasa, it is micro Chidabhasa, this is macro. All these Chidabhasa put together will go where? It has to come from Ishvara. Therefore, it has a total reflected consciousness. That's why whatever you know, Ishvara knows immediately. The only thing is you don't remember, you don't try to imagine it in a human form. That form we don't know. That we need to understand. So if you give a human form, then we understand as a human being with 2 hands, 2 legs and all. But all these mind, universal buddhi, universal reflector consciousness, all these things are there. This Saguna Ishvara. You all these find 5 factors when it becomes Sagunam. For Nirguna Brahman also you remove all the 4 factors. It becomes Nirguna Brahman. Therefore, here almost you now understand that Tvam and Tat here itself you can understand. If you remove these 4 factors, what remains is Atma. Therefore, Shankara is talking about 4, all the factors. And he is talking about both Nirgunam and Sagunam. And the Upanishads explain these in 2 methods. One is Vyavritti, that is indirect method, Neti, removing all other things other than consciousness, that is one method, indirect, remove everything. All Upanishads have only 2 methods. That is the negating method or negative method. Non-Brahman is negated. Nisheda Vakya Pramanam. It's called Nisheda Vakya Pramanam. The second method is direct method, or you can call it as positive method. It is Viti Mukhena. This is what he has said here. Look at the sloka. Evam Nischitya Tvamartam. So he also says, don't forget this Tvamartam. You keep it there. When you come to Tatpadam, you understand Tatpadam, then you forget Tvamadam, then you can't compare. So Acharya is also very, very clear in that. So remember the Tvamadam, keep it in your mind readily, Nischitya, and also Chintayet Punaha. Then Tatpada Tattartham you try to analyze now. Keep the Tvamadam, don't forget, keep it ready to compare it with the Tatpadam. And what is the Tatpadam? I am going to explain. Tatpadam is Vyavritti Rupena. In one form, Vyavritti Rupena, by way of negating, I am going to tell you. The second thing is Sachat Vidimukena. Vidimukena is a positive method and is direct positive method. Sachat Vidimukena. That by negating what is other than Brahman, also according to the direct positive method. These are the 2 methods used in all Upanishads. That's also Acharya himself is going to introduce. We need not go and search the Upanishads. He himself gives. There are the statements, how these statements can be handled, for what purpose a particular statement from a Upanishad. All these things also Acharya himself helps. The 29th sloka which we are going to read, he is going to tell about Vyavritti. Then negative. The 30th sloka, he is going to talk about the positive, Vidimukha. Now we will read the 29th. Nirasta Sesha Sansara Dosho Stuladi Lakshanaha Adrishyatpadi Gunakaha Parakritattamomalaha. This example for indirect method, direct positive method, will be in 30th verse. Here, what is he telling? 2 Upanishads is quoting. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 388 and Mundaka Upanishad 116. The 388 is Akshara Brahmanam. Comes in Akshara Brahmanam. Akshara means what? Avyadavar, which cannot be destroyed. Aksharam. Akshara Brahmanam. There it is a discussion between Yajnavalkya and Gargi. Gargi puts a lot of questions and Yajnavalkya is replying. One of the reply for the question of Gargi is all he is negating. He is negating what is other than Brahman, he is negating. Etadvai tadacharam Gargi, he calls Gargi. Etadvai tadacharam Gargi, etadvai tadacharam Brahmana Abhivadanti. The wise men say, Astulam, Ananu, Akristvam, Adirgham, Alohitam, Asneham, Achayam, Atamaha, and goes on. He gives 23 items of negating. The main items I have told you here. That Astulam, Acharya is also, it's not this thing solid to catch. Ananu, it is not Anu also, Ananu. And Agristvam, it's not short. Adirgham, it is not long. And Alohidam, it is not red. Asneham, it is not viscous, kora. It is not viscosity. Akshayam, it's not a shadow. Atamaha, tamaha, it is not dark. It is not dark, it is not light, it is not long, it is not short, it is not red. All these things are negated, not. And again in Mundaka Upanishad also same idea comes here. So many Upanishads say this. Here he has quoted 2 Upanishads. Edadadreshyam, agrahyam, agotram, avarnam, achachuhu, shrotram, tad apanipadam. Also, dreshyam you can't see, agrahyam you can't grasp, gotram it has no beginning and no rupam, it can't see, it can't be heard, and doesn't have any limbs. Panipadam, apanipadam. Panipadaha, apanipadaha. It doesn't have. Negating all possible attributes. The entire universe is also negated. Because in creation, there will be some attribute for everything. If there is creation, you can't reach that Brahman, the Guna Brahman. So you have to, the creation has to be negated. It has to be within that. That means it's not in the human mind creation. It goes and it's not available for you as an object. That's what we have to understand. As a human being, you think of an object to come before you. It's something analogous to a dream world for a waker. For after waking up, the dream world is a dream. It's like that. So Brahman is that which remains after negating the universe. After negating everything, I, the negator, will be left out. The conscious principle, the negator cannot be negated. That's the point. You can negate everything. Who is negating? The negator is negating. You can negate everything. We have seen the logic of Dayananda Swamiji also. What is truth? That cannot be negated. Again, what is you? That cannot be negated. What is Nirguna Brahman? That cannot be negated. So all the three have fallen in place now. That which cannot be negated is I. That which cannot be negated is Satyam. That which cannot be negated is Brahman. Therefore, the negator cannot be negated. Adrishyatvam. Parakrita Tama Mala. It will not have Malam, it will not have Tama. That's the same verse Acharya has taken here. We will see it further tomorrow.